Good afternoon, Bearcat Nation. I am A.B. Stocks here today with Kabrina Merriweather, assistant coach for women's basketball. Kabrina, welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here. I'd do anything for you.
Oh, Brina. So, Brina, as you are most affectionately called by everyone, can you tell us a little bit of history on how your name came to be?
Yeah, that's a great story. I think just for the person who named me, I don't know how wonderful it is for me. So Trina and I are 13 years, what would say 14 years apart in age. The story goes that she was going into the store and she needed some money. So she reached into my mom's purse for $1 and pulled out a sonogram. And that's how she found out my mom was pregnant with me. My mom said she cried and boo-hooed and all these things because she really, really enjoys being an only child. And my mom goes into labor and delivery with me, and my sister's there with her because at that point they are best friends. And we just laughed about that because today's my mom's birthday. So they are best friends, and my mom wanted to name me Alexis Brienne. And I thought, when they told me that, I'm like, that's a beautiful name. Like, why didn't I get that name? Which would have made me AB too. But Trina said, no, I like the name Kabrina. And my mom's like, no, we're not doing that. And Trina's like, yeah, I think we should, like as a consolation for having to have a sister. So went from Alexis Brienne to Kabrina, and then I got to keep Alexis, though, as my middle name. And then I think people just called her Trina her whole life. So only people that call me Kabrina and her Katrina are the two of us with our full names.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So Coach Katrina Merriweather
Yes.
was calling shots even in the delivery room.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was. And then here I am.
Beautiful, beautiful. And where else would you rather be than coaching at the University of Cincinnati?
I think it's an amazing opportunity. Actually, growing up just down the road, didn't have the opportunity to play here like she did, but I had 2 or 3 teammates that played here. One that was the same year as me, and she was one of my best friends growing up. And
these are high school
teammates, high school AAU teammates. Chelsea Jameson is her name, and Shelby Chandler also. So we played AAU together, and they were afforded the opportunity to play here, and I thought it was really cool. Growing up, I was not a footsteps girl. I wasn't as much as I loved Cincinnati and spent a lot of time here. I don't know that I wanted to go to school here. It's just because I wanted to go as far away as I could from home. So I went to school in Florida, and then I transferred from there and went to school in Georgia after that. So I'm a Southern girl at heart. When I got to school at Florida, everybody thought I was from there and, all those things. So.
And during your college career, you experienced a transfer, so you have some relatability with the transfer situation. Of course, the transfer portal being kind of a fairly new phenomena, but the experience itself as being a transfer student athlete. Do you coach and kind of help mentor some of the student athletes through that process?
I do. Since we've been here, a few transfers come in, and it really is a time for me to speak to them when we have dinner with them or when we have individual meetings with Trina and I with the transfer. I get to kind of shed some light on, one, how difficult I know it is. It's a very scary process, no matter what the kid's looking for, right? The student athlete is always looking for something, if it's more connection, if it's a better opportunity, if it's closer to home, or anything that happens. It's not one of the best things in the world, like people, I think, portray it to be. It can be unsettling. You are in this place, whether it's cushiony or not, you've made friends, your teammates are your people, you have people on campus that care about you, and then you have to uproot your life for whatever the reason is and go find home somewhere else. So the portal, I'm indifferent about it. I think that when the student athletes take charge of their process, it can be special. I think that when other things happen, then it's not so pure. But yeah, I think if I had the portal back then, I might have ended up somewhere on the West Coast. So I think it's best that I went from Florida and then 45 minutes up the road to a small D2 that I just love so much.
So I think it's fairly fair to assess the free spirit gene in you.
Yeah. Trina tells me that I'm adopted sometimes because we have a very competitive father. And then as I've gotten older, I realize my mother's competitive too. And I'm very competitive, but I probably am the crazy sister. And so I try to harbor and hone that energy in as giddy and excited. It keeps me even keel because I am really competitive too. But my free spirit comes from just the grace of God and being able to be alive and walk and use my body and have all 4 grandparents alive and work with my sister. Like there's no reason for me not to be happy. So, yeah.
Now you're happy, free spirit, and you touched on it just a little bit, but Brina, each and every Bearcat fan can see from the stands just how intense you are on the sideline. Talk to us a little bit about that intensity with the players come game time and even practice time. What you infuse into the players.
Yeah, try to instill a sense of discipline. So I think that when people see me riled up and rowdy on the sideline, it's me being upset that we've lacked discipline. Trina, all of us work really hard in practice to make the game easy. So it can be frustration, it can be excitement, it can be a little confusion. Mine will come off as frustration as to why we're not always doing what we're supposed to do. But I think on the other side of that, the game kind of throws things at you that practice can't throw at you. So what people will see is that, but also me just fighting hard for my boss. She obviously means the world to me, but for her to be here at Cincinnati, the place that she calls home, and the people that love her so much and the place that she loves so much, I can't do anything but give it everything I have. So that's what they see, is me getting excited and running up to her and making sure that she has what she needs and our players are performing to the best of their ability.
So the other aspect of you, just coaching in general, is in your blood.
Yeah.
You're a 3rd generation coach, and obviously you and your sister grew up coaching. The first time I saw you coach, and again, you were always around as a player. So Brina would come into the gym. Sometimes you would smile. Most often you would not. But the first time I saw you coach, it was with the family, your father's AAU program. And it was at, I believe, Nike Nationals. And the team was down. And you were, I didn't know you were coaching. I thought you were, Coach Merriweather's youngest on the end of the bench. And the team got down pretty considerably. And as usual, the team was loaded with phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, you stand up and you motion to your father that he can sit down. And you said, "It's okay, Daddy, I got it." You went ahead and called a timeout, huddled the team. I don't know what happened, but I saw a finger and a lot of eye contact.
Okay.
And next thing I knew, the buzzer sounded and your team won by like 15.
Yeah.
What is it that you do that can ignite a spark in not just players, but this high elite talented roster of players? What buttons do you push where even Coach Merriweather gives you latitude to shine in that gift?
I told Trina something earlier today. She laughed about sending text messages to players and them getting anxious when they see her name pop up. And she said she doesn't understand it because she's not a yeller. She doesn't fuss at them, and she doesn't. I told her it can be worrisome and it can make you nervous when you disappoint somebody that you love so much. So there's 2 sides to that coin. There are players who get nervous when their coach's name pops up because they know they've done something and they're concerned. And then there are people who are nervous because they're like, "Oh God, I don't want to make Trina upset. I don't want to disappoint her." And I think that that's probably where I sit, right in the middle, reminding them that they've all earned the right to be here. They are good enough to be here, and they have to perform. There are no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I tell one of our veteran post players, Destiny Thomas, all the time, you cannot be afraid to succeed. My dad told me that when I was younger. I used to, what is the word? I would essentially let everybody else shine, for lack of better words. And he said that you can succeed. It's okay. And defer. Yes, I would defer to my teammates a lot as a player. Just because I love being on the team. I enjoyed the people around me. You can defer to other people, but it's okay for you to succeed and do well. And what comes with that is some expectation. And that is what I think a lot of young people are afraid of. They are afraid of expectations and consistency. So I dig into that. I dig into not being afraid to succeed. I dig into working on your craft so you can be consistent and reliable. And the team you're talking about had a player that was a young woman who is so special to me, Jordan Hankins. And she is the reason I got into college coaching. She is not with us anymore on this earth, but she played college basketball and she loved the game of basketball. And she had a really unfortunate experience in college, and she left this earth way too soon. But she is my reason why. She is the reason that as soon as I can jump on them and as soon as I can get them riled up and to the point where they have to play to the best of their ability, that I can love on them right after. Because I feel like you can do both.
There'll be practices where we may see, again, that intensity, that high expectation in the standards that you and the entire coaching staff hold the players to.
Yeah.
You kind of being the enforcer on the staff, would you agree?
Yes, I try to be. Trina is, we let her have moments where she's the big bad wolf, but she is not. She sets the standard and we uphold the standard. Being the director of culture is really important to me. It is a role I take seriously because without culture, you have nothing. And that's not true. There's either good culture or bad culture. There's always a culture. And so we're striving to have the best one we can because it's what these kids deserve and it's what this place deserves. Cincinnati deserves to have a basketball program, women's basketball program that understands what being a Bearcat means. So I'm thankful to Trina for, like you said, the leeway and the opportunity just to help set it and uphold it and make it my own, honestly.
So how would you describe the culture?
It is, well, we use our pillars. We were just talking about it yesterday. Trust, respect, accountability, commitment, and ethics. And it's supposed to be evident in everything that they do. And I think we say we trace their steps. So everything that you do, it needs to be a part of what you do every day. And we have one of my post players who I affectionately call D. And she's working hard. She's working hard to be the best person she can be. And we are trying to instill more values in her. She has a great set of parents and a great family behind her. And it's important that she knows and that all of them know that we will not take no for an answer. We will not let them slip through the cracks. We will not let them be mediocre. If you want to do that, then you can't do that here. Can't do that here.
And that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Because as we can see, you may be intense, but in those moments when a player comes out of a game and maybe has a highlight moment, you're also one of the first ones that some of these young ladies will go up to and give a big hug or a high five.
Yeah. People, I think a lot of people use the word balance. I like to use the word harmony. I think you can do more than one thing at once. There is no one thing and then the other. So you can, I tell them all the time, I'm their biggest op, I'm their biggest hater, I'm their biggest cheerleader. And it's because I'm in everything that you do. I'm watching you and I'm making sure that you're being your best self. And I do that because there's nobody to do that for you when you graduate. Nobody is putting their eyeballs on you all the time and making sure that you're okay. And they deserve that. But also they know that when you signed up to come here, you knew that too. So I'm their biggest op and their biggest cheerleader.
Beautiful. Now, let's go back to you as a player for a second, because that clearly helped mold the type of coach who we see and who the university is blessed to have be a part. You've dealt with some injury and a career-ending injury. What was that process like, and what insight can you provide to young players who may be experiencing similar hurdles with injury?
Never stop. Never stop. I played basketball from, you can know this, age 2 to 21, and had never had a rolled ankle or a hurt hand or a hurt shoulder. And then my junior year of college, I tore my ACL and my meniscus. And I personally can say out loud, and I've been saying it for a few years now, I didn't give basketball everything that it gave me as a player. I worked really hard in high school. I achieved some things that I never thought I could. And then I got to college and I kind of settled and I relaxed a little bit. And I'm keen on that when our players try to do that, because I want them to know that you will regret it. You will regret not giving it everything you have. And so I talk to them about that all the time. But I tore my ACL the last day before our first official practice. So I had made it through conditioning and all the things. And then right before our first practice, I tore it. And I was hurt. I didn't want to call my dad. I think I waited 2 days to call my dad. Because like I said earlier, you just can be tough to think that you're disappointing somebody who all they've ever done is believe in you. So I called, and my parents drove to me, and I had surgery, and he helped get me back, and my coaches helped get me back. But I had coached AU for a few years, like you'd seen me, and I knew then I wanted to coach. I had some interesting struggles my freshman year in college. Had wonderful teammates, and I think I even honestly had a wonderful coaching staff. It just wasn't a good fit. And so then I transferred, and I was able to be coached by Kelly Britsky, and I think that she was the bomb. I don't know that I've ever told her that, but she was the bomb. She gave us a long leash, but she held us accountable. She kind of tried to tell us that life wouldn't take care of us, and she was right. But she made that experience wonderful, and I still talk to those teammates still. So, yeah, injuries sting, but you can't give up. Can't stop. And then when I started coaching, I had back surgery, and that was the second injury I've ever had in my life. I couldn't work, and I'd never known what it was like to not be able to work and take care of myself. I was coaching and I had responsibilities, and I was working for a really cool guy, Mike Bradbury, who wasn't really good on the emotions and the checking in, but he knew that I wanted to work, so he gave me an opportunity still. Let me come in when I could and do film and things like that, but had back surgery, was out for a few months, and so don't give up. Eat the right things. Drink lots of water and stretch all the time. That's what I have for young athletes.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And Mike Bradbury, of course, a longtime assistant at the University of Cincinnati, instrumental in a lot of the pivots and growth of the program under longtime Hall of Fame coach Lori Pirtle. Mm-hmm. So you have not only the family dynamic of coaching that you've been able to glean from, but then also being surrounded with other great coaches that have left a mark and a legacy on the university. So then the question comes, what is the mark and legacy that Kabrina Merriweather will leave with the University of Cincinnati?
Man, I wasn't ready for that one. I think that the best thing that I can help leave here is compassion. There's such a fine line between being competitive and being nasty. And Trina and I laugh about that all the time. Especially because Bearcats were thick, quick, and nasty is what we hear all the time. But
yes, we are.
Yes, you are. You are. I would say compassion, and being able to take care of the people around you and give people grace. while also holding them accountable. You can understand that somebody's going through something and still cheer for them and still rah-rah for them and still make sure that they're okay, all while holding them to a certain expectation. I think you can do both. I like to practice that with our leader all the time. I look at her and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, well, let's go get it." No, and I always check first. And it's funny that a lot of things that I did at New Mexico before I started working with her, she was already doing with her team. Would check in first before you ask, "Did you do your layups? Did you do your warm up? Did you do this? Like, how are you?" And just leading with the person first. Being compassionate, leading with the person first. It's something that no matter how long I'm here or whatever happens next for me, I want there to always that to be always part of this program. Is that we're leading with the person first.
Twice you were named to WBCA Women's Basketball Coaches Association, the top 30 under 30 list, which recognizes some of the top assistant coaches in the country. Yeah. Congratulations on that honor.
Thank you.
Talk to us a little bit about what that means to you and your career.
Yeah, no comparison to my coworker Abby, who's gotten it like 10 times. But thank you for that. I was really grateful and fortunate to be listed on that list. I think that I work really hard, and I know that I work in a good place, and it allows me to shine in the ways that I can shine. I've talked brilliantly about my boss, obviously, but you have to be nominated by your boss, one, to get that award. But then two, people have to vote for you. So you get nominated and then the winners from the year before vote for you. They pick the 30 people that they think should be on the list. So fortunate enough to make enough connections in this business, fortunate enough to meet some really great people. But I'm just trying to perfect my craft. Like I ask of our student athletes every day. I watch a lot of film. I have a lot of meetings with my position groups and with my skill groups, constantly trying to wreck Trina's brain on different things. Because I do want to be a head coach one day. And I think that there's no better place for me to be than here to learn how to do it and how to do it well. So being on that list was awesome. Getting it twice is even better. But, and I got to get 40 under 40 or something like that because I'm now over 30. So,
well, you're well on your way.
Thank you so much.
Keep working, keep climbing. Well, I can speak on behalf of the entire Bearcat Nation that we are so blessed and fortunate to have you and your gifts on board with us.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here.
Oh, well, Kabrina Merriweather, thank you.